Welcome back to my channel. Tonight is not a soul food night. I felt like seafood, so I'm going to show you how I make my seafood Alfredo. Let's get started. Here I have some crab legs, I have some scallops, and I have some peeled and deveined shrimp. All three of these I will be adding into my seafood Alfredo. Over here in this pot, I already have my fettuccine boiling in some lightly salted water. Now what I'm going to do with the crab legs, I'm just going to crack a few of these and take the meat out of them to go into the pasta. Here's my shrimp and my scallops. I'm just going to give them a good rinse, and then I'll add my seasonings to them. Now for our seasonings, I'll be using something simple. I love to have Old Bay on all of my seafood. It's just something that I love on my seafood. And since we're making Cajun Alfredo, I'm using Louisiana Cajun spice. I'll also be adding some garlic powder. So once you get this seasoned up well, we're gonna go and saute this for about 5 minutes. In this pan, I have about 6 tablespoons of olive oil. I'll be sauteing my shrimp and my scallops for about 5 minutes or so, or until they have a light brown color on both sides. Now I'll add my crab meat and just toss it around for about 30 seconds, just so it can pick up some of those spices from the pan. Okay, now that I've taken all the seafood out of the pan, I have these drippings in the bottom, which you should know by now, I'm going to use them drippings. That's flavor down there. I have 2 tablespoons of butter, and when this butter melts down, I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. Now for this garlic, you only need to saute this for maybe 2 to 3 minutes because you don't want your garlic to scorch or turn brown because the flavor will not be the same. Here I have some heavy cream, and this is a quart of heavy cream, which I think I use about 2/3 of that container. Now this is Cajun seafood Alfredo, so you want to layer your seasonings. First we season our seafood, now we need to season our Alfredo sauce. Now this will not make your seafood Alfredo hot. This Cajun season, it really is just a combination of spices, but not much heat in it at all. So once you get your spices put in, you want to let this heat up a little bit, and then we'll add our cheese. And I'm using some Parmesan and Romano grated cheese. Nothing fancy, but I can tell you that this Kraft grated cheese really makes a delicious Alfredo sauce. And it's so quick and easy. You put your cheese into your heavy cream, as you see I've done there, and whisk it so that all the clumps will dissolve. Now to thicken this Alfredo sauce, I do like to use a little bit of flour. So what I'll do is I'll take about a teaspoon of flour, and I'll just dissolve that in a small amount of water. Stir it up really good until you get all the lumps out of it, and I'll add that to my Alfredo sauce. And you only want to add a little bit because you don't want your sauce to be over thickened. Okay, now that you've gotten your cheeses and your flour mixture all incorporated, you want to pay close attention to your pot so that it doesn't scorch at the bottom. I'll be adding about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. It really adds a little kick to the Cajun spices that I already have in there, which just adds a little more spice to this Alfredo sauce. Now before this starts to thicken up too much, we're going to start adding in our pasta. You just want to get all your pasta into the pot, and we're going to let this simmer for 5 to 10 minutes or until it thickens to the consistency that you like. Now that you've gotten all your pasta into the pot, this is a good time to taste your sauce. You may need a little extra salt or pepper, or maybe even a little bit of cheese. When I tasted mine, I felt like I needed just a little more cheese, so I added it in. Now we'll take our seafood and add that into the pot as well. Now if you like more seafood, feel free to add as much as you like. I'm only adding a little bit to mine because my kids prefer more pasta than they do seafood. And as for myself, I have the rest of those crab legs that I'll be eating on the side. All you need to do now is let this simmer about 5 to 7 minutes, and voila, you have delicious Cajun seafood Alfredo. Let's plate this up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you try my recipe. And if you do, leave me a comment down below. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video.